We'll be talking about the regular housekeeping stuff, just what I've been playing, recent pickups, weekly games releasing this week. We're going to talk about Red Dead Redemption coming out on PC. We're going to talk about Metaphor and Sparking Zero, what do you call it, like reviews, and also both of those games come out tomorrow. Then we got Final Fantasy 16. When is it going to come to Xbox? Is it going to come to Xbox? We kind of feel like it is. We got some news on Hi-Fi Rush 2, which is pretty exciting because I love that game. We got some debating going on with Tekken 8's DLC and what kind of constitutes as worth DLC and the money and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of controversy going on with that. I was thinking of making a separate video on that, but I'm not sure yet. I have a different video for Sunday or Monday. We're going to talk about Ubisoft possibly going private. I know we talked about it a little bit last episode. We got 343 rebranding to Halo Studios, so we'll talk about what we might see from them. We got a new Indiana Jones Xbox. We got the Rolling Stones doing their top Zelda games list. I don't think they've ever done a video game list. I've never seen it before, but they got that. And then we got Nintendo putting out new hardware, aka the Alarmo. So we'll get into all that. So let's start. Oh, the other thing is, so this is a Thursday. Normally we are on Wednesdays. I think Thursdays just work better for me schedule wise, like with my life and everything. And also I think Thursday is better for getting as much like news out of the week. You know, it's closer to the end of the week, but I'm not going to do Friday nights. I already know that. So I think Thursday works a little better. Yeah, it's just going to work better for me. So we'll have the stream Thursday nights. Then I'm also going to try putting out videos on Mondays instead of Sundays just to see if they perform a little better. I was trying to do some research on like analytics and stuff like that, and apparently weekdays are just better in general. And I noticed like most of the content creators I follow don't even upload on the weekend. So like I might do weekend / beginning of the week for like shorts and like TikToks and stuff like that, and then we'll have the stream Thursdays and then the video on Monday. I actually recorded Monday's video already, so that'll be ready to go. I just gotta work on the thumbnail. So with all that out of the way, let's start with what I've been playing. So I kind of been playing a little bit of everything. I was playing a bunch of random stuff. So I was playing Outer Worlds just because I'm like, still haven't finished this game, and put in like 15 before I started again. I think I put in like 7 or 8 hours. I put in like 15 hours into that game, and I'm just like, I don't really like it that much. Like I felt like I tried to make myself like it because like, oh, it's Obsidian and the choices and the dialogue and all this stuff, but it's like that game just gets really repetitive and it just wasn't that interesting. And to be honest, I'm not into like super dialogue heavy games. I feel like those games are reserved for people that literally want to read every single choice and interact with all that, and I'm just it's not for me. And like the art style, like, it's not an ugly game, but it's not particularly that great looking, and it also made me feel like I'm not even gonna want to go back to Starfield even because it's too similar. So it was that. I started Kunitsugami last night actually on a PC, and I actually like that game. It's very creative. It takes like the tower defense, you know, type of games to like a different level. So I definitely recommend checking that game out. You have like different soldiers that can fight for you, and you know, you got to protect the goddess and all that, you know, upgrade and all that. So I only went through the first 2, I don't know if they're levels or like camps basically. So yeah, pretty good game. But pretty much I'm waiting for a Metaphor tomorrow. That's my thing. And I'm mad because I couldn't preload. Everybody's talking about preloading and, you know, a week ago and everything, but like I got it physically coming in from Best Buy tomorrow at some point, so I couldn't do that. But either way, that's pretty much what I'm on. All right, let's get into this week's releases. So shift over. I should probably turn my camera. All right, so start off with what came out earlier this week. So Monday, or not Monday, what's the 8th? Tuesday? Yeah, 2 days ago, Tuesday. Tuesday we had Silent Hill 2. The remake came out, and a lot of people were like very surprised by this because I don't know if it was Bloober Team. They've been not putting out that much great stuff, but they put out a great game. Got an 86 on Metacritic. That's pretty good. Silent Hill 2 is one of those old school PS2 games. I think Konami did it, so the Konami's kind of back with all these remakes and everything like that. We also got this what do you call it, Metal Gear Solid Delta coming out at some point next year. Then the same day we had the Diablo 4 expansion, Vessel of Hatred. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this. Not saying no one bought it, but I just haven't really seen that many people talk. You got some other stuff. Undisputed. Thing, is this a UFC game? It's got a 71. I'm not seeing anything. What is this game? Okay, so this was like a boxing game. Again, haven't really seen no one talking about that. Some other stuff. Oh, Metaphor dropped a little. Dang. So Metaphor comes out tomorrow along with Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero dropped too. So originally, Sparking Zero was at an 83 and Metaphor was at a 94. Did it lose its must play? Oh no, okay, it still has the must play. So yeah, looking forward to both of those tomorrow. I've been kind of, I don't say avoiding, but yeah, I haven't really been looking at any. I haven't watched a single review on Metaphor just because, like, I already bought it. I know I'm going to play it. I like the demo and everything. I don't want it too much, you know, not spoilers, but basically, like, tell me too much about the game that I don't, you know, need them to tell me about. I'm already getting it, so that's that. But why don't we talk about the those reviews particularly? So let's talk about Metaphor first. So I did a whole video kind of going through a breakdown of all this. So the on the PS5, as you can see, 34. See, the math don't be mathing. It says 92% of votes went positive. So there was some other scores, I think. I think that's taking into account the people that didn't put a score. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, so 34 is positive. The other scores didn't come back yet. So yeah, I mean, from what I was reading, a lot of people saying like, hey, this is Atlas's, or this is just one of the best RPGs people have played in years. Probably since Persona 5. Some people were saying it didn't exactly hit the, you know, heights of Persona 5, which is a high bar to hit, but it definitely gets close. It checks all the boxes. And it says all the stuff I was saying from the demo. Like, it has, you know, the storyline is dope, the background, the fantasy setting. A lot of people like over Persona because Persona is just like, people are getting over the whole high school thing, especially as you get older, right? Like when you're like Persona 4 came out or Persona 3 came out, I wasn't playing it back then, but I was in 6th grade, I think. And then Persona 4 came out when I was like a senior in high school. So it's like, you could kind of vibe with it a little bit. Even Persona 5, it's like, okay, maybe you just finished college or a year removed or something. So you get into it, but eventually that does get kind of old. So the fantasy setting still, the power and combat system I like a lot with the archetypes and being able to give the same archetypes to multiple people, things like that. So really good reviews over there. Sparking Zero, only thing I've been seeing about this game is the stupid what do you call it, grade 8 Vegeta. So this got 48 positive reviews and then 7 mixed. And so you see a lot of people saying, oh, it's a lot of 10s and 9.5s and stuff like that. But the gist of it was a lot of people say like, okay, it's a love letter to all the old Dragon Ball games, and fans, you know, fans of the old games, and also new people can jump right in. It's really flashy and everything like that. The only thing people were saying like negative that I saw was something like the cutscenes aren't as robust. The stories, what's cool about it is the what ifs, but outside of that, it's not anything particularly special. But to be honest, like most people care more about they care about the storyline, but more people care about the online at this point. Like people care about being up their friends and everything like that. So that's, yeah, it is what it is. It's gonna sell crazy. So it already had, I think, 90,000 on Steam, and the early access was on yesterday, I think, either yesterday or Tuesday. So early access on Steam alone having 90,000 is kind of crazy. So we know by tomorrow, it's the pre-orders are already crazy. Like it's gonna go insane. But another announcement we got was for Red Dead Redemption. So Red Dead Redemption will be coming out. Sound off. Red Dead Redemption's finally coming out on PC after this game came out in like what, 2009, 2010? Yeah, I think 2010. This is coming out almost 15 years later. So this will be coming out on PC. A lot of people that haven't played it yet, you'll be able to, or just play it in better, graphics and everything. So this will be coming out along with Undead Nightmare. I think it's the online mode. It's coming out to PC October 29th, so the end of this month. PC specific features including native 4K resolution, ultra wide and super ultra wide, monitor support, and much more. Of course, the modding community is really excited for this because any game that goes to PC, they're just gonna do what they gotta do, change everything to be crazy. So people that have been waiting for Red Dead Redemption, they'll be able to play that. I have Red Dead Redemption 2. At some point, I will give it a go. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I'm going to play it. All right, now let's talk about Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox. Oh, I just removed the HDR. Yes. So this is from Windows Central. So this quote said this from Just Corden, of course. This is from last week, October 1st. So this, the top headline says, a quote, says, "We do want to release it on Xbox. Square confirms goal to bring Final Fantasy 16 to Xbox," which we all felt like that would come to Xbox before Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth and all that, and the trilogy's not even done yet. We got Pixel Remaster already announced from Tokyo Game Show, so 16 does seem like it would fall right into that. Another game I need to finish. I started it and then I kind of fell off it a little bit. It's not a bad game at all. The story's pretty cool. The setting, the combat was a little easy, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna get back to it. Trying to see. So it said, a short while ago, I shared on my Xbox 2 podcast that I heard Square Enix was looking to bring its entire slate of Final Fantasy games to Xbox, including Final Fantasy 16. Now we have confirmation that that is indeed the plan. Speaking in a new interview, Square Enix legend Naoki Yoshida, also known as Yoshi P, confirmed that Final Fantasy 16 is slated for Xbox, although stopped short of offering a time frame. Final Fantasy took, okay, Don't Make Cry, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Trying to see where he says he wants to do. Okay, in a new interview, he said he emphasized that Square Enix is planning to bring flagship titles like Final Fantasy 16 to Xbox as well, although it seems more like an aspirational plan right now, given the firm's growing pains as it moves towards multi-platform game development. Of course, we did announce the PC version of the game, so looking towards the Xbox version, we do want to release it on Xbox. But when it comes to the specifics, such as when the game will be available and such, we are not in a position to be able to share anything. But of course, I want to say that it's not as if there's zero hope, and we very much do want to achieve that. So players should not give up in terms of their hope. So it does sound a little cryptic and things like that, but I think this is coming soon, right? Like, they announced a PC version. We know how, not saying that means Xbox PC, but like there is that connection there. We know Square Enix and Xbox have, the awkward 3-person handshake on stage. We've seen them bring what's it called, Octopath Traveler 2. They fixed that up. They got Pixel Remaster coming over, so they're working on it, right? Like, we already know the relationship with Sega's good. Square Enix, they're trying to fix that up. Capcom seems to be all right. So eventually Final Fantasy 16 will be on the Xbox. When? We'll have to see. I mean, it came out last year, right? Like last June or July or something. Maybe the end of the year, I don't remember, but maybe next year, maybe end of next year, we'll get to see that over on Xbox. But speaking of Xbox, or formerly Xbox games, I don't know how this one's gonna go. But we got Hi-Fi Rush 2 news. So this is from Flo Brill over on Twitter. Y'all go follow him. He does really good work with the like graphics as well as reporting on like a lot of Xbox news and stuff like that. So he tweeted out on October 1st, Tango Gameworks has been working on Hi-Fi Rush 2 build for about 6 months. So they've already been working on a build. That means the game's already, you know, they got it pretty much mapped out, I'm sure. It said Microsoft closed the studio earlier this year. The team is now reunited under Crafton. So this is from GameIndustry.biz. It says, we don't want to just replicate successful games. This is from Crafton. So it says, zoom it in. I don't know why it zooms out so much when I stream. Okay, so it says South Korean publisher Crafton became the unlikely savior of Japanese developer Tango Gameworks in August after Microsoft dropped them. Blah, blah. Trying to see where it says. We don't want to know about what led them to picking it up. I just want to see where they are with the game. So, to be honest, I didn't read this beforehand. That would have made it easier for me to know where they're at. So it says, how much did Tango's latest release, Hi-Fi Rush, factor into the overall purchase? It said that's one of the big accomplishments. I think that gave us confidence because the studio's not relying on the creativity of just Shinji Mikami, who you guys know is the godfather of like horror games with Resident Evil and Evil Within and things like that. New creatives are coming from younger developers, and they're very successful in delivering something so unique. We could tell that it is a studio capable of creating the full spectrum of different experiences. They have a couple of new projects in production. We looked at them and they were very different from the previous titles. So that's interesting. So it says they have a couple new projects. So that could be 2, 3, normally a couple means 2, but when people say that, it could mean anything. They don't mean the literal definition of a couple. And it said they're very different from the previous title. So that means it's different than Evil Within or different than Hi-Fi Rush, or maybe new mechanics as far as those games go, or Ghostwire Tokyo. So it says, would you like to bring Hi-Fi Rush to further platforms such as Nintendo Switch? It said that's what the team really wants. I think they want to work on Hi-Fi Rush DLC as well, which would be great. Because they're dedicated to ensuring that Hi-Fi Rush 2 upholds high standards of quality. So that pretty much confirms it. They literally are saying they want to make sure Hi-Fi Rush 2 stays up to that type of standard. They don't want to rush the sequel, but take the necessary time to refine the game and come up with a different experience. And that's another thing. I don't know, are there any rhythm games like this that have, you know, a sequel? Like, how different can you make the game? We'll just have to see. So it says, you touched on that a little bit, but as part of the acquisition announcement, Crafton said it would continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Can you expand on this? So it says, yes. The team was working on Hi-Fi Rush 2 when we first met them, so they was already working on it. It says 6 months, so 6 months before now is April, and they were cut in August, so that's interesting. They want to make sure it surpasses the expectations of the existing fans, which would be crazy because our expectations and where we hold the game up is pretty high regard. For instance, some of the feedback about Hi-Fi Rush was that some people felt it was just going through factories. So now they want to give a more open world type of experience. I don't know how I feel about I don't think it's going to be completely open world, but a more dynamic environment that you play in, also have more advanced technology applied to the rhythm action so that feels more synchronized. That would be really dope. If you're going through like, I mean, there were parts of that too where you're like not in the factories, but you're in like kind of going through the cities and alleyways and stuff like that. So that would be really cool. Like it would be like a living city, like all synchronized with you, like music wise. But I do think they should keep it more linear and not lean too far into the open world aspect. It's the idea to let them continue working on Hi-Fi Rush 2. And it says, I think the build that we looked at was about 6 months old when we went to meet them. So if it was 6 months old and they met them in, who knows when they met them? So it might be a little older than 6 months, maybe 7 or 8 months old, to be honest. Because they didn't just acquire them 6 months ago, right? Like they got cut in August. We got the announcement in that they got bought last month, and it was 6 months. So if they met, let's say they met in August, and say they might have been working on that thing since February, and now we're in October. So who knows? But at the moment, because IP acquisition is in progress, it's been on hold because all the related assets and tools will be transferred to Crafton from Microsoft. So that's the issue. They're working on buying the IP from Microsoft. It's about to... It says it's in progress, so hopefully it'll happen. But it says, yes, we'll continue working on it for sure. Like I said, we don't really want to rush the market just to deliver a sequel. We want to make sure it's right. And it said how they feel about the other games. They primarily focus on Hi-Fi Rush. It was more of a strategic decision. It would have been great to get all the IPs, but the team was working on Hi-Fi Rush 2 and the others were working on anniversary content for The Evil Within. Knowing Microsoft's direction with the IP sale, we didn't want to push too far with this acquisition, so we primarily had Hi-Fi Rush under discussion because it would complicate the process and elongate the entire negotiation process. So it says, so it's not all the IP. It said, no, just Hi-Fi Rush. So that kind of sucks. I mean, that's the only one I care about. So it says, so are Ghostwire and Evil Within staying with Microsoft? And they said yes. So, yeah, okay. I mean, that pretty much tells that story there. So, Hi-Fi Rush 2 is a thing. They got a build that's around 6 months old. That is the only IP. They're still going through the process, but that was the only IP they could buy from Microsoft. I remember hearing rumors about them collaborating with Microsoft to like work on it or fund it or something. I don't know if they're still going to do that, but hey, at least it's in the works. I know people love Evil Within and a lot of people like Ghostwire Tokyo, but I think Hi-Fi Rush is the main point that we was waiting for, because that was like one of Microsoft's only successes last year. So definitely looking forward to that whenever that does come out. But okay, now talk about this Tekken DLC like controversy. Of course I didn't bookmark it, but basically, I forget this dude's name. I just followed him. Basically, it was about the Tekken DLC coming out and people complaining. Okay, here it is. So the original tweet was this. So this was about Tekken was getting review bombed. Like right now, or this October 1st, you can see. So it says right now, it says negative, but I think it's up to like, or this is mixed, but I think it's up to negative now, which is crazy. And this comes off the heels of the announcement of the DLC and it being paid DLC or whatever. And this is just a history showing the sales of Tekken. So you can see the first Tekken, the second one, the third one. Tekken 5 sold 10 million. So the main thing is looking at Tekken 7, right? Because that's the game that came out most recently. I think it came out like 2015, so 9 years ago. And it sold 12 million units. And Tekken 8, as we can see, is only at 2 million. Now, of course, Tekken 7 had all this time to sell that amount, but 2 million is, I mean, not average what Tekken does. You say there's super highs, but like the lowest they could sell. That's the lowest since Tekken Tag 2. And before that, it was like Tekken 4. That's the lowest sale. So I want to read this from Del Walker. I think he's from our friends across the pond in Britain over there. Or London. I don't know the exact place, but says, hi, game developer's perspective here. So he's a game developer. He said, I believe Tekken 8 showcases how some game fans are creating conditions for their favorite games to disappear. It says, here's why. The community is upset about a $5 DLC stage, even for character season pass holders. Oh, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Being a season pass holder and still having to pay $5 for the stage is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. But says, but consider this: Tekken 2 and 3 cost $50 to $60 to buy in 1997, and Tekken 8 cost $50 to $70 in 2024. PS5 era development costs today range from $60 to $250 million, whereas GTA 3 on PS1, I think GTA 3 was on PS1, was on PS2. Either way, was $5 million. With Tekken 8 selling 2 to 3 million units so far, the game probably isn't financially sustainable yet, so the $5 DLC stage and the $4, $8 DLC characters are clearly necessary. Harada, I forget his first name, the dude that invented Tekken, Harada-san, has previously tweeted that a stage costs around $350,000 to make, so making it free or part of the character season pass will likely hurt financially. Tekken 8 on paper is an astonishingly risky bet. It's almost delusional on paper and can only survive with every current Tekken player throwing $5 at it every 3 to 4 months or aggressive growth. The fan base, while passionate, isn't growing enough and seems uninterested in the financial realities. They review bomb the sustainability efforts, then wonder why franchises like Soul Calibur or Virtua Fighter are gone. Well, there's rumors that Virtua Fighter 6 is on the way, but yeah, this is really important, I think, because it's so hard to kind of talk about prices and stuff like that because realistically consumers don't care, right? Like consumers just want what they want and they don't really think about the reality of the things. They don't care about costs, expenses, everything that Dell mentioned here because bro, we're not accustomed, to be honest, until recently, I say within the last 10 years or so, or whenever gaming got as big as it is, especially with YouTube and everything, most of us didn't have that peek behind the curtain or like Twitter and everything where everyone's laying out all this information with rumors and leaks and budgets and cuts and layoffs and all. Like no one ever knew or cared about any of that stuff before. But now that everyone's obsessed with Steam player, concurrent players and first week sales and all this kind of stuff, and now there's the existence of, you know, these microtransactions and DLCs that cost $30 and then it isn't that good. People are really paying attention to this stuff now. So, you know, I'll say the first thing I'll say is he is 100% correct. Like the fact that games still cost almost the same, like we just recently got games costing $70 and not even all of them cost $70. But the fact that game prices are relatively the same over the last 20, 25 years, even 30 years, like you always see these old ads where some games were $75, $80 because they're really expensive, especially to put on cartridge and things like that. Or they were like double disc, triple disc, things like that. It's like the fact that the game still costs the same, but development costs have exponentially gone up. Like we're talking about 10 to 50 times as much money to cost to make these games, and they're not selling nearly as much because there's a lot more of them, or there's more studios, and there's indie, and people spending money on all their forms of entertainment, and there's free to play games and all this kind of stuff, our live service games, everything. Like there's a bunch of subscription services, streaming, there's so much other forms of entertainment, but like the costs are still going up. And that's why we keep saying, what is the end the end result of this AAA gaming, or like the big name games and these big budgets? Like, how sustainable is this? So now where they're saying, like, listen, $5 stage, it costs them $350,000. So to do the math, I mean, I could do it. I don't know why I was about to pull a calculator out. That's 70 people, basically. Or sorry, 70,000 people. So 70,000 people out of the 2 million that bought the game would need to buy this stage for the stage to even make sense to make, for them to just break even, right? So for them to make a profit, 71,000 people would need to buy it, and that would mean they would make $5. That's not worth the time and investment and everything like that. So when you talk about, oh, these games cost however much, or DLC, why they charging microtransactions, oh, the outfits cost money and all this kind of stuff, it's like, bro, they literally have to. It's the same thing with, and then keeping the game going. Like, man, that's why I said this could be a whole other video, to be honest. But it's like, even keeping the game sustainably going, the servers, online, constantly updating the game, all that costs money. And people are just, you buy the game once and that's it. If you don't buy anything else to keep supporting it, that's it. When it comes to these live service games and people buy the battle pass and the microtransactions, that's the only reason those games can keep going. They cost too much to keep running, especially with more people. The more people that are playing, the more the servers cost, the more needs to be put in place for that. So I mean, $5 for a stage is like, I guess, you don't have to do it, but I think review, as he said, like, I understand the frustration because it not coming with, it said there was a 4-character DLC that was $8, which isn't that bad. I mean, like, what's the game? I mean, Smash was like $5 per character, I'm pretty sure. I think like the DLC packs were like $20, and then so that boiled down to like each character costing like $5. So $4 for, $8 for 4 characters, $2 a character, you know what I'm saying? And then $5 for the stage. But the stage would come with it in Smash. And Smash is obviously way less money to make than Tekken, not as complicated, but bro, the review bombing though, that has to stop. Like, we have to stop just review bombing stuff that we don't like. I get it, like that's the only way you can kind of talk, but it's like, just don't buy it, because either the people that want to buy are going to buy it, but like review bombing has such a negative effect on the game's like lifespan, because people that may be thinking about it or maybe aren't that in the know. I mean, Tekken's a big name and it's been getting great praise, so I don't know if it would affect it as much, but like seeing all those negative reviews, like it pushes it down in the algorithm, or like on the top charts or best reviewed games, or people that haven't played Tekken since Tekken 2, right? Like, I haven't played Street Fighter since Street Fighter 2, but I bought Street Fighter 6 because I heard it was good. If I see a bunch of bad reviews, if I just go off of Steam reviews, then you're not going to buy it. And then that hurts it more. And then people, they can't sustain it with the money, and then no one's going to buy it. So yeah, stop review bombing, bro. Like, it's kind of corny, honestly. Like, review bombing's for, I don't even want to say the word, but y'all know. But all right, let's talk about Ubisoft again. So they might be on the verge. We talked about Tencent working on a way to possibly buy Ubisoft. So it says Ubisoft is from Games Hub, says Ubisoft could be on the verge of going private, and that also made its stock price go up. So it did reach a 10-year low recently, but with the reports that it might get bought out and go private or whatever, people have been trying to buy up some more stock so they could sell it or whatever. So the price has been going up a little bit, but It says Ubisoft could be heading for privatization as the Guillemot family and major shareholder Tencent have reportedly held talks discussing structural changes to ensure the future of the company. This year has been particularly tough for Ubisoft as significant underperformance on company and investor expectations has led to a falling share price. Falling share prices, compounded by major economic downturn, the news of potential change first broke via Bloomberg, which alleged that Tencent and Guillemot family was considering a major buyout of Ubisoft inspired by concerns around its falling share price. While it acknowledged any potential buyout was still in its very early stages, it believed talks had taken place and that there were plans to overhaul the company's structure to contend with the range of emerging challenges. So we'll have to see. I mean, it says at this stage it's unclear, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, I mean, Ubisoft's been going through it with their, we said they moved Assassin's Creed Shadows to next year. They're supposed to have 3 Assassin's Creed games to come out, and I think by next year or between now and 2026 or something like that. We know it's supposed to be Assassin's Creed 4 remake, so I don't know. Hopefully they could figure it out, but that also means that I don't think Prince of Persia sold that well, which is sad to hear, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully they could figure it out. But speaking of companies figuring it out, we got Halo, or 343 Studios being rebranded to Halo Studios. So I'm doing a full video breakdown on this for Monday, so you guys can check that out. Just make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when it comes out. This is the high, we'll go through the article a little bit, but here's the high level aspect of it. So 343 Studios, they're going to be called Halo Studios. They're growing now, so they're hiring. They are shifting over to Unreal Engine 5 to get out of that Slipstream or Slipspace, whatever engine, which is an archaic engine at this point, to help their new developments and new projects. And they spent the last 2 years on Project Foundry, a research project. So Project Foundry was, throw this video on, I'll just talk about it. So pretty much they didn't want it to be like a tech demo, but basically what Halo Studios is going to be, so like I said, they're moving over to Unreal Engine 5. They got rid of a bunch of big wigs that were at the top. As you can see here, they have the different biomes. They had like 3 major biomes that they showed on here. It was the snowy biome. You got this Pacific Northwest one that we're used to seeing, and then they had a more like alien looking one that's taken over by the flood that I think they're about to show right now. But yeah, this one. So they also made it a really big point to say that this wasn't a like tech demo. They wanted it to be like they were creating their game. They wanted to put the same amount of attention into this. As you can see, the details on Master Chief and the Elite, that they wanted to be like they approached it like they were making a game. They wanted to be able to essentially, with their new projects, they're going to be able to take what they're doing over here and then apply it to their new Halo projects that they're going to be working on between now and whenever it is in the future. Personally, it still remains to be seen, because we know 343 hasn't been that successful when it comes to Halo. We had Halo 4, great campaign, online was kind of weird. Halo 5, great online, campaign was kind of weird. Halo Infinite, the online, the features weren't there, wasn't feature complete, it's been lacking content, everything like that. So, and the campaign kind of left a lot to be desired. He was on one biome. Like, we're seeing 3 different biomes here. Like, there was not any type of diversity at all. The story left on a cliffhanger. So who knows what's going to happen with Halo Infinite. My idea was that they was going to keep updating it. It's called Halo Infinite. Like, they purposely called it that instead of Halo 6. And again, they touched upon it in this clip, but they were basically saying, and in the interview, but they basically said that staying on Slipstream was not going to work as far as sustain. Like part of them not being able to feed the current market, as they call it, with like new updates and features and things like that, was the fact that it's just an old archaic system. Like Unreal Engine has way more support, way more developers that they can hire, can work on it, and it's just easier for them. So hopefully it works out. I think my predictions is that Halo, like a reboot or just a remake or something in the form for Combat Evolved, is going to come out in 2026 with the new Xbox. I think there might be the Gears, what's it called, E-Day, that might come out around the same time. We might get a double header or something like that. Then we might get a spin-off game, and then we'll get a whole new, whether it's a trilogy or I don't know if they're going to continue Halo Infinite story somehow. I don't know, but I think that's how it's going to go. So maybe we'll get that like every 2 years or something, like 2026, 2028, and then 2030. So I have to see, but am I hesitant? Yes, I am, because we know they just haven't, I don't know, they haven't delivered. It's actually very surprising that they keep getting chances, you know what I mean? But we'll just have to see. We will just have to see. And now with more Xbox news, we have the announcement of yet another Xbox Series X console that is going to be a stupid sweepstakes yet again. I don't get why they keep doing this. It doesn't make sense to me. So Bethesda tweeted this out, says, inspired by Indiana Jones and a Great Circle, this custom Xbox Series X console and wireless controller are rarer than gold. From November 12th, visit select. So this is the other thing. They trying to make you do way too much for this. So from November 12th, visit select Microsoft Experience Centers and test your wits against a puzzle box reminiscent of the game. Solve it and you'll be entered into a sweepstakes for a chance to win the treasured home. Like, I mean, it's cool, the gold and all that, but it's like, bro, again, oh, the little jewels, the jewel ABXY, but again, I don't understand why Microsoft can like capitalize off of these systems. I don't understand why they leave it to these weird sweepstakes. And even this is like, you can't even just, people enter for sure, but it's like, you want them to travel to some experience centers, you want them to try and solve a puzzle, and then if they do, then they get entered into the sweepstakes. It's not even a guarantee they win. Like, it's, man, I don't know. Like, if you sold this controller by yourself, like, people, I wouldn't buy it, but like, someone would buy this thing. If you sold the Xbox by, like, we got a Starfield controller, some other random controllers and stuff like that, but it's like, there should be a controller or a system or a wrap or something. Like, these, even these wraps we're not getting like that. I don't know what Xbox is doing when it comes to this marketing. I don't understand. They love money, but for some reason, again. But let's, speaking of companies hating money, but not really, loving money. We got this announcement from Nintendo, not the Nintendo Switch 2, but a new alarm clock called Alarmo, which will cost $99, and it'll basically play different sounds from these games. So you can see you got Mario here, you got Splatoon, you got Zelda, you got Pikmin, and you got, I have no idea what that is. When does this even come out? So everybody's been waiting for the Switch 2, and this is what you're getting instead. And it's not, okay. Can you buy it now? Oh, you can buy it right now, actually. Or find a retailer. Here's the... Why is this video 5 minutes long? Just want to see the different... Okay, Zelda. What else? Okay, Splatoon. Oh, it looks like it moves too. It's pretty cool. I don't know how that'll wake you up, but oh, Ring Fit Adventure. This must be a high seller for them to put that on there. Actually, I think this is their top selling franchises. Well, no, Pikmin, no, but Mario, Zelda, Ring Fit, Splatoon. That makes sense. Okay. With the last topic, it will also be a Nintendo topic. We're gonna go over Rolling Stone's top Zelda games. So Stealth on Twitter, Stealth40K tweeted this out. Just go to the direct article from Rolling Stones. I'll give my opinion on this. So, oh, never mind. That means I gotta scroll through. That'll be more fun. Let's go do that way. So, number 19. So they only went from 19. Is that because it's traditional games or how they? Okay, 21 mainline games alongside countless films remastered, like Star Wars that are on their favorite. Yeah, I don't get how they decide to do this. But anyway, all right, let's go through it. So 19, Triforce Heroes. I don't own this. Actually, I have it like on my modded 3DS, but I heard it's terrible, so makes sense. Four Sword / Four Sword Adventures. I think the reason is most people just haven't played this because it's on like you can only play it with people if you all connect your Game Boys together or connect with the GameCube. But yeah, I heard it wasn't that great. Spirit Tracks. I own it physically. I actually have it right here. I actually have Spirit Tracks right there. Physically, just because I never played it or beat it. I got it complete in box with the manual and slips and all that. So it was a sequel to Phantom Hourglass. A lot of people didn't like it. And then right next to it is Phantom Hourglass. So yeah, like I think the DS Zelda games are like considered the weakest in the franchise by far outside the like CDI games or whatever. I beat Phantom Hourglass when it first came out, and I mean, people didn't like the motion controls and like the not motion controls. Using the stylus to play Zelda was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it was a good game though. I liked it, and like drawing on the map and all that. Skyward Sword should not be 15. I know that for a fact. I didn't play it till it came out on the Switch, but Skyward Sword should not be 18. It is technically the first game in the franchise. It's when the Master Sword first was created and everything like that. I think that should be a lot higher. Minish Cap is very good. So I played it on an emulator on my phone back in high school. I got to the final boss and then it kept crashing, so I never beat it, but I do have it on my 3DS. Okay, now they're tripping. First of all, look at this picture. That alone should put it down. But Zelda 2 is like known as the worst Zelda game because it forced them to make Link to the Past. Like it was just very different. It wasn't even like it says here, it was it's obtuse, extremely difficult. So why is it here? It says where the bare bones originally left much of imagination, excelled at world building in ways even later entries could learn from. I guess that should not be this high though. A Link Between Worlds should not be this low either. Link Between Worlds was really, really good. So it was a sequel to A Link to the Past on the 3DS. It was really clever with the, as you can see, Link is like a painting. Like it took the whole 2D, 3D thing to the next level. You traversing the world, going through cracks and things like that. I think that should be a lot higher. They put Oracle of Ages and Seasons at the same spot, even though the games are technically different. And Capcom actually published it. This these should get a remake. I think with you, if we got Link's Awakening, they should do like a Link Between Worlds is kind of like a Link to the Past remake because it was a sequel in that style. So I think we should get Oracle Ages, Oracle Seasons remake for sure. Twilight Princess should be way higher. Twilight Princess is like top 3 for me personally. It was way darker. Like people like Majora's Mask where it's dark and gritty, whatever. They say it's better than Ocarina of Time. Like Twilight Princess, yeah, the Wolf Link parts were a little cumbersome, you know, finding the tears or whatever, but like this was really good. Especially after like people wanted this. They're expecting this after Ocarina of Time, and you know, we got Wind Waker instead, and how people like that now. Like Twilight Princess should be a lot higher. I put, I think, 86 hours into this when it first came out. Really good. I got it on the Wii, stood outside. How are they putting Echoes of Wisdom at number 9? This game just came out 2 weeks ago. Come on, bro. Let me see what it says. It only took 30 years for Echoes to win a presence. Zelda herself got a star. Da 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 da. Echo. Visuals of 2019. Echo blends. Like, I get it because it's like top-down Zelda. It's the first Zelda game, technically. It's got top-down Zelda elements with Tears of the Kingdom and / Breath of the Wild stuff, but like, bro, come on. Number 9? This game just came out. There's no way. The original Zelda, I mean, it's the first, so I'm not going to argue it, but that game is not aged well at all. Majora's Mask at number 7, not mad at it. Have it on the 3DS as well. I don't know, that whole timing thing, like 3 days to do everything and then it's starting over, just I couldn't rock with it before. I'm gonna do it eventually though. Link's Awakening, I mean, the remake I like. I have the original on 3DS as well after buying it off the virtual console. It's pretty good for a top-down Zelda. I don't know if it's, yeah, I prefer Link Between Worlds to that. Ocarina of Time at number 5? This right here at number 5? This is a replica box, by the way. No, I don't have a complete in-box copy. That's like $700 or something. But Ocarina of Time is the blueprint for 3D Zelda games, bro. Like this, it brought Z targeting into gaming. It was one of the first like 3D action adventure games, like the open world, Hyrule Field, all that. Like Ocarina of Time should not be number 5. Ocarina of Time can be number 5. Is considered one of the best video games of all time, if not the best, let alone Zelda games. That should be not number 5. Which means they got Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. What else did I say? Link to the Past, that's 3. And then there's one more that they didn't say. Wind Waker? Is that next? Oh, okay. Link to the Past is 4. Again, Link to the Past is considered... I'm playing through it on the Switch. Or I started playing through it on the Switch. I kind of dropped it, I ain't gonna lie. It's considered like one of the best games of all time. And also for Zelda games because it, you know, influenced and brought so many things to the franchise that it didn't have before, especially after Zelda 2 was such a left turn. Okay, Wind Waker number 3. All right, let's be honest. See, even like it says here, like they teased them with at Space World 2000 with a demo after Ocarina of Time, and they thought, oh, it's going to be the next whatever, and then they had this cel-shaded, chibi, cartoon-looking Toon Link, and people like Wind Waker being loved is a very recent thing. But either way, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm still waiting for it to come out on Switch, but for that to be considered number 3, I don't know. And I think this is corny to have Breath of the Wild at number 2 and then Tears of the Kingdom. Like, did I enjoy Tears of the Kingdom a lot? Yes. It took me a while to get into Breath of the Wild, but like, for these to be 1 and 2, like they're too similar to me to have them right there. Like, if that's the case, then Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask should be, I mean, they're close, 7 and 5. But they were, at least they had different mechanics. Like, and yes, Tears of the Kingdom had different mechanics with Ultra Hand and what's it called, Ascend and everything like that. But like, it looked like the areas were the same. Like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were literally different maps. Like this was the same map but different, or years later or whatever. But like, I don't know. The list overall isn't terrible, but like even taking my opinions and bias out of it, I think a lot of people would debate this list a lot. So, but that does it. Man, almost an hour. Normally we don't go this long, but pause. But yeah, so that's it. State of the gaming industry, episode 14. If you are watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Definitely a like on this. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, do please answer the poll on there that I have, and rate it a 5 stars and everything. Leave a comment too. Do everything. Follow me on all social media and anywhere you can find me. And I appreciate you guys for coming through. I'll see you next Thursday, and check out my video on Monday. Hit the notification bell. There will be a new video Mondays. Experiment with it, see how it goes over Sundays. But either way, check out everything I do. Hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next one.